Tell him I'm a clip-boss, got a jewel on my tech, yeah, yeah. Got a jewel on my tech, clip-boss, got a jewel on my tech, yeah, yeah. Wrong move, you next, Limp biter, been playing 2 nights, better get lost before you pay that price. I'ma draw blood, all keen, I know knife. To survive another fit is better fight for your life in the night. Not decide, finna hide, live or die. Bigger fangs, bigger bite, make a bite of terabyte. Baby call me Eddie, cause I eat it like it light. Pick a side, pick a side, pick a side, pick a side. Keep on fronting my past. Backseat driver gon' crash. If you keep eyeing my lemon, I'ma take your woman in the back. Tell me how you like it.
Então, tô pensando em começar a ler o The Call of Cthulhu. Não sei como que é como que pronuncia direito. Mas muito provavelmente Cthulhu. Cara, lá no Terraria, eu jogo quase 10 anos Terraria, eu nunca falei certo.
Cthulhu.
What the fuck?
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. Vamos chamar de Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Como que eu pronuncio isso aqui? Pra início de conversa. Lovecraft escreveu... Mano, eu não sei mais ler. Hoje eu tô... Escreveu a pronúncia de Cthulhu como... What? Gutural e muito grossa. Terraria Brasil vai se fuder. Ok. Tula.
Cthulhu. Cthulhu.
Vamos falar o modo inglês então. Cthulhu. Eu vou fazer uma coisinha. Porque eu quero absorver bem esse livro. Então, eu vou abrir o Notes e fazer algumas anotações enquanto vou lendo. Eu adoro essa musiquinha. Porque diz... Eu não sei muito bem, porque ele é meio... Ele é de terror, né? São... ficção, terror, alguma coisa assim. Não tô achando minha caneta. E... junto com o mistério... Não sei se o mistério que se propõe é mistério de desvendar o mistério ou mistério tipo de medo. Se for pra desvendar mistério, segredos, essas bobeiras, daí eu vou estar com o caderninho. Eu não tô achando minha caneta. Caneta da mesa. Mas que caralho. Não sei onde que vai parar essa caneta. E pior que eu tô já com a faca e o queijo na mão, fazendo negócio aqui. Eu acho que achei. Enfim. tá dando pra ouvir bem por causa da musiquinha. Às vezes a musiquinha droga um pouco o áudio. Então. HP Lovecraft. Ah, é Lovecraft, né? Fala Lovecraft. Uma cor um pouquinho mais. Nossa, apertei em coisa. Então, HP Lovecraft. Eu não sei absolutamente nada dos livros, das obras dele, nem quem que ele era. Eu só sei dos jogos. O jogo inspirado nele é o que quase todos, né? De terror. Então como que eu quero fazer? Se for realmente necessário, tipo assim, se for realmente de mistério, eu vou escrevendo aqui. Por enquanto, vamos ver qual que é o menor conto. Vamos saber então aqui. Howard Philip Lovecraft was an American writer of weird and horror fiction. He is known for his creation of what became a Cthulhu. Esse Cthulhu vai ser uma boa mesmo, hein? Aí. Onde eu tava? Cthulhu Mythos. Mythos? É Mythos? Eu nunca parei pra ver. Mythos.
Mythos.
Mythos. Dá muita noção maior. Virtually no and only published. Mano, deixa eu só ler rapidinho isso aqui. Se ela começa com essa tumba, quantas páginas tem essa tumba? Eita porra. Karma lá. O livro ele é enorme, né? Ele tem 1200 páginas. Então é meio que é foda. Essa porra de Kindle travou. Ó, esse segundo dá pra tentar. A gente vê como que vai ser o livro. Tipo assim, eu nem queria ler em voz alta esse livro, né? Mas é treino. Queria ler porque só lendo assim que pra palavrinha chata de pronunciar. Aí eu pego lendo assim, eu nem me preocupo com essas porra, mas vamos lá. Vou colocar uma musiquinha que presta. I'm writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drugs which alone makes life endurable, I can bear Nossa senhora, não consigo falar. The torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I'm weakling or degenerate. When you have read this restless scrawled page, you may guess, through never fully realize why it is that I must have forgetfulness of death. It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider. Tá. Vamos por cima. Vamos meio que treinar primeiro. A gente vai anotar as coisas, né? Mas, por exemplo, se fosse anotar, eu ia anotar isso aqui. Ou seja, ele foi vítima de um Sea Rider. Como é que eu vou traduzir isso aí? Nossa, cara, eu preciso dormir hoje, eu juro. Eu tô desde as 6 de ontem lá acordado. Então, the Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate, não sei, prize. Well, sei lá que porra é essa. We of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due as never naval, say prisoners. So liberal indeed was the discipline of our captors. Tá, só uma coisa. Okay, was discipline of our captors. The 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time. When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Eu tô tentando pensar pouquinho nessa história. Of the longitude, não sei como falar, longitude, supor que seja isso. I knew nothing, and no island of our coastline was in sight. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted endless. Ai, cara, eu não sei como fala isso ali não. Beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitated land. But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. Legal, ele Adjetiva. Eu tenho que ler mais, né? Vamos. The change happened whilst, sei lá que é isso, I slept. It details I shall never know, for my slumber thought troubled and dream infested was continuous. When at last I awaked, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish back. Sei lá que é hellish back mirror, which extended about me in monotonous undulations lá, as far as I could see, and at which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Thought one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery. I was in reality more horrified than astonished, for there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid, which the carcass of decaying fish and... Tá, pera lá, ele tava antes no barco, ele foi dormir, ele depois acordou. Não, ele acordou ou ele tava dormindo? Eu não prestei muita atenção nisso. Ah, tá, no sonho dele. Dream infested, ok. Morality, astonished, tá. A sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid. O que fala? Eu vou supor que ele fala putrid, with the carcasses de decaying fishes. Ai, deixa eu ver se eu tô falando certo. Não, depois eu vejo. Tá. Onde eu parei? Aqui. And other less describable things which I saw proceeding, say, from the nasty motto of the yearning, unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable. Porra, só chegando nessa parte já complica, né? Hydrones that can dwell in absolutely silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing inside save a vast reach of blank slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity acho que é isso, né? Of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black, and its countless cruelty as thought reflecting in inky marsh beneath my feet. As I crawled into this stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been through to the surface, exploding regions which for innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under watery depths. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, strain my ears as I might. Now, were there any seafood to prey upon the dead things. For several hours, I thought, I sat thinking and brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its thickness and seemed like it had to dry sufficiently for traveling purpose in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to the overland journey in a search of vanished sea and possible rescue. When the third morning I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was medley, but I was too much concerned with the graver things seemed to mind so slight and evil, and set out boldly for a no go. All day I forgot, steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock, which rose higher than any other elevations on the rolling desert. That night I encamped, and on the following day still traveled towards the hummock, so that object seems scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it. But by the fourth evening I attained the base of the mount, which turned out to be much higher than I had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend it, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but the warning is fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain. I was awake in the cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day without the glare of parching sun. My journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascendant which had deteriorated me at the sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence. I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me, but I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared. CK, cara, eu não sei como fala. Sword, sei lá. Acho que tem um schwa ali, né? Sword. High enough to illuminate. I found myself on the edge of the world. Peering over the rim into a fathomless faithless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror run, curious reminiscences of paradise lost, and Satan's hideouts climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness as the moon climbed higher in the sky. Cara, essa parte aqui, in the Satan's hideouts climb through the unfashioned realms of the dark. Cara, essa parte é muito God of War. The realms of the darkness, hideouts, enfim. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined. Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fiery ease footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of a few hundred feet the declivity become very gradual, urged on by an... Só um instante. Ele... Primeiro, o que eu lembro, ele tava dormindo no barco. Depois ele começa a falar. Isso tudo aqui eu não entendi muito bem o que eles dizem. Ah, o solo seco, o jeito de parar no lugar, solo seco. Porque ele delira à noite, né? As the moon climbed the higher sky, began to see... Ok. Tá. Então, urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian é um nome próprio, né? Deeps where no lights had yet penetrated. All at once my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely and the newly bestowed rays of the descending moon. That was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself, but I was conscious of a distinctive impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express, for despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young. I perceived beyond the doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of a scientist or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely. The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chain, sei lá que porra ele tá falando, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions, and almost lapping my feet as I stopped in the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base. Que susto, porra! Washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could not trace both inscriptions and crude sculpture. The writing was in the system of hieroglyphics, unknown to me and unlike anything I have ever seen in the books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, sei lá, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things, which are unknown to the modern world, but was the composition forms I had observed in the ocean rising plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most the whole. My spellbound, plenty visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of the rare. I think that these things were supposed to depict man, at the least a certain sort of man, though the creatures were disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrines, which appear to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in details, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer, they were damnably human in general outline, desperate webbed hands and feet, chucklingly, wide and fabby lips, glassy bulging eyes, and other features so less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been cheeseless, like isso, badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was the act of the killing a whale represented as but little larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange side, but in the moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished years before the first ancestor of the Piltdown of Neanderthal man was born. I was struck at his unexpected glimpse glimpse into the past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist. I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then suddenly I saw it, with only a side churning to mark its rise to the surface. The thing slipped into the veil above the dark waters, vast, polyphemus like, and Lovestone. It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, in my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember a little. I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing. I have to indistinct recollections of a great storm some time after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard peals of thunder and other tones, which nature utters only in her widest moods. When I came out in the shadows, I was in the San Francisco hospital brought thither by a captain of the American ship which had picked me up both in the mid-ocean. In my delirium I had said much, but found that way was had been given scant attention of any land upheaval in the Pacific. My rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew that I could not believe. Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with a peculiar... Eu esqueci o que é amused, cara. De todas as palavras você fala isso, né? Amusement park, amused, sei lá. Him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god. But soon perceiving that he was hopeless conventional, I did not press my inquiries. It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and warning, that I see the thing. I try morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account of the information of the contemptuous amusement of my fellow man. Often I asked myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and having it the open boat after my escape from the Germany. Man of war, opa! This is I ask myself, but ever does there comes before me a hideously vivid vision in my reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the name. Caralho, cara, os caras tá quebrando coisa ali fora. At the nameless things that I made at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slim bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water soaked, granited. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down in their reeking talons the remnants of puny war. Exhausted mankind of a day when the land shall sink, and the dark ocean floor shall ascend amidst universal universal pandemonium. The end is near. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it. It shall not find me. God damn! The window! O cara delirou a história inteira, né? Tá bom.